fucking around at all. I don't know what to say about the bravery of the main attraction here tonight, but I just appreciate her, and we love her. We're here to show her unconditional support. Please welcome to the stage, Patty. Patty, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for convening this. I think I feel a bit held for the first time since this all happened.
We like to hear that. We like to hear that. First, just really sorry for the occasion. This is all terrible. I don't think there's any heroes or winners or uh, real positives to come out of any of this. But we are here for you, and I think clearly this community has failed your sister,
I
but we
agree.
have failed you as well, in the sense of, and I say this, about the Epstein victims, which is they are so incredibly brave, and they just might fuck around and be our last hope at saving democracy. But the fact that they have to subject themselves to public scrutiny and cameras and media and the news and be all over our screens and our tubes, I think is a real shame, and is a national embarrassment that that's what it requires to take this type of thing seriously. And so while I'm happy you're here, this is another sort of disgusting reflection of where we're at in this moment in our society, and also where we're at in this moment in this space, where it's even possible for us to have so many bullshit narratives swirling around in such a clear, uh, deprived inability to support a victim. So I thank you, but I also want to acknowledge that this should not be what it takes, for
Yeah,
what that's worth.
fair enough. Yeah. Thanks for having me. I don't know what else to say. Honestly, I also had a medical procedure today, so you might have to kind of walk me through.
Yeah, yeah, no
Um,
worries,
but
no
I know you and
worries.
I just spoke, Jay, and so you should be pretty up to date too.
Yeah, yeah. So I know a lot of people are wondering your take on what happened, and maybe I guess we start with whatever you think we should talk about, or what could be shared
Mhm.
about uh, your experience in all of this, and then I think that'll probably set us up to talk about what's been going on in the community since this transpired.
Sure. Okay. Okay. First and foremost, I wanted to say very clearly.
I already have a sense where this going. Like I said, in God damn, I swear I might lose my shit tonight, yo. I might lose my shit tonight.
Truthfully and honestly, which I have done at every point throughout this whole thing, that Nancy did not ask for, consent, or even consider participating in what happened to her that night. She does not engage in BDSM in everyday life or ever, and she certainly has not made a habit of getting raped by anybody. That's fucking stupid. Okay.
I appreciate that, and I think you were similarly unambiguous in our conversation. And again, I don't think any of this should be required. I'm honestly a bit embarrassed to even be doing this stream, uh, but uh, I totally appreciate you coming on here and saying that, and giving people in the community an opportunity to hear that from you. You have
Mm-hmm.
heard from the sister what
Yep.
what happened, what time it is. All right.
Okay. All right. So I was at the conference with my sister. I was in the hotel room with my teenage daughter, and Nancy was out at the bar and at the lodge there, and that's fine. She's an adult; she can do that. She absolutely was feeling flirty. She also can do that. That is an adult thing to do. So, I have some notes here. I'll pick and choose from it. So when I went to bed, she was still out. That's totally fine. And then when I woke up at some point, early morning, she was back. Great. And then pre-dawn, she wakes up and she told me how much her head hurt. And and that she couldn't take her hand off of her head. We found her some ibuprofen. And she said she was pushed down the stairs and that her head was smashed against a wall. She repeated multiple times that the person who had interacted with her in this way was, her words, so aggressive and so violent. She said, "Patty, he's dangerous." And this was Nancy at her most raw. She was very clear on having been pushed down the stairs. There is some movement of where they went throughout the course of the night, but to get to the point of the violence itself, beyond being pushed down the stairs, she was then strangled with both hands twice. I asked her if she passed out during that time, and she didn't know. She said her body and her head hurt so much at that point, she didn't remember that part, like if she actually passed out and came to again or not. Sorry, I'm gonna have to check my notes.
Take your
Okay.
time.
Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna be a little messed up here just because I'm
You're
so
good.
activated.
Don't
But
apologize. Yeah.
so previous to the strangulation, they were outside for a bit, and he pushed her into a dark alcove. She said he kissed her very aggressively after having said, "I know you're married." And when he kissed her very aggressively, she said it was like eating her face, and that he was so sweaty that she was baffled by how sweaty he was. She didn't understand why that would be. Okay. When they moved into the stairwell after she had said something that was to the effect of, "Whoa, slow down there," he became aggressive in the stairwell, and that's when the violence began that I described with the strangulation after pushing down the stairs. Additionally, after she was on the floor, he ran down the stairs, jumped on top of her, said, "I can fuck you right here." And later yelled at her, "Are you my bitch? No, are you my slut? Are you my whore?" Those were the words. She did not ask for this. In the process, he also exposed her chest. She said throughout the encounter, he stepped around the corner and came back a couple of times. And when he returned, she perceived him as increasingly enraged and increasingly violent. She was trying to comprehend what was happening to her at this point. When he didn't come back after going around the corner the last time, she made it back to the lobby out of the stairwell, where she was found by a friend of ours who realized something didn't seem right, that she looked dazed. And so that friend brought her back to the room and got her back in safe. And so that was the point that in the early morning, I awoke and got this story from Nancy. There was bruising on her, especially on her butt where she hit the stairs, but also on her upper arms. And it should be known that she absolutely sought medical care once home. She sought medical care to have her head scanned because it hurt so bad. And a week and a half later, the pain returned in her neck, which is common with strangulation, and that is medically documented as well. That morning, I was set to give a talk. I might remember more things in there, but that was the bulk
It's
of it.
okay.
So I was giving my talk. I was on stage, and I watched him come in the room, sit down next to her, and put his arm around her, like always will. That morning, he had already started texting her, and I said, "Do not text him back. That's not okay." And it began there. And it was from there that I feel I observed emotional manipulation of my sister, which I think would be called witness tampering in a court of law. The biggest moment for me with that was within the week after the incident when we were back home. She said that she'd been speaking to him for hours on the phone. And I heard her say, "Oh, he's got all these traumas and oh, he's really had it rough. I mean, we should all, like forgive and we agreed that I'll talk to him through his troubles a couple times every week." And all of a sudden I was like, what the fuck? Somehow the offender had become the victim. What the fuck? Red flags, guys. And I had to explain to her that's not how this works. That's actually not okay. That's you're being manipulated at this point. But she had a couple weeks at home alone at that point, and there were conversations between them on the phone for hours a day. Next red flag. We're going over the
Hey,
story
Purple.
again. So I was asking her more questions about it. And I hear her say something very different about what she knew clear as fuck. That morning, she knew she was pushed down the stairs. But when she talked to me after spending hours on the phone with him, she was like, "Well, I mean, he said I think we fell. And, I don't know, maybe we fell together." What? No. Nancy, you were clear on it. That's a red flag. And from there, we go to kind of other places, I guess. I mean, do you have any questions? I'm going to try to calm down.
No, but I will take this opportunity to say I'm not interested in these side conversations about information that's available or unavailable. Also, please do not send any super chats. If you would like to show your support, I believe I included a link in the description for the Ko-Fi and Patreon for the Apostate Sisters. Please show them your support. Please do not send any super chats. The last thing I want is to make money off of this. Thank you. Please continue.
And good on you, Jay, for that. I'm just gonna say real quick because I'm taking all this shit in, right, real time. I swear to fucking God, I don't really believe in a God, but I swear to a fucking God, whatever it is, where. If not only did this happen, but what I've deemed to be the cool kids club in the atheist community, if they've made room for this, Man, you ain't heard shit from me yet. You've never heard shit from me yet. I've been calling for this shit for the last several years. That they do the same shit. They do the same shit that these fucking churches do. These fucking cults do, and they make room for each other to do this stupid shit and get away with it. I swear to fucking God.
Where else should I take it?
What? I'm sure you've heard this stuff about the video. Do you want to say anything about that?
The video?
Yeah, that there was allegedly video of this, and the video shows that it didn't happen.
The individuals that have been making statements about a video have also said they didn't see any video. So
I know of no video. I know there was a CCTV video from the lobby during which Nancy looked flirtatious, which she does not disagree that she was being flirtatious. I'm sorry. Pretty sure flirting doesn't mean you get fucking thrown down the stairs and strangled.
Yep, should go without saying. But yeah, to my understanding, what I've heard is same thing. A bunch of timelines that talk about a bunch of stuff before and a bunch of stuff after. Conveniently missing the period of time where the only people who know what happened, as far as I know, are the alleged victim and the alleged assailant. So what all this nonsense about CCTV, this, that, and the third, don't see how it's relevant at all.
And the place that he took her was a side door to a stairwell that's a service stairwell before you even get to the front door of the place. And that's where it occurred.
Yeah, and that's scary. I think people should be asking.
You know what, Wayne? That's a great question. Let me just do a couple searches because I want to be, y'all know the one thing I say on this motherfucking channel, whether I'm DJ's music or this type shit or whatever it is, before I'm anything in life, I'm a skeptic. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to look, right? I'm going to search. All right, his Facebook is still up. There's no mention. Either he has something posted 2 days ago. I don't know when all this shit officially popped off. So that I'm not privy to. I forgot. I'm not on X anymore, or fuck Twitter, X, whatever. So I can't even look it up there. So there's no mention there, but I don't know when it popped off. But that is what it is. All I know, for fuck's sake, all I know is if this accusation was pointed and or directed at me, and I know that there is no foundation for it, there's no truth to it, I will literally fucking physically die on that hill. No. Fuck to the no. You are literally going to have to prove this shit happened. So far, that's where I'm at. Now, what I'm waiting to hear is how the quote unquote, I know most of us here are atheists, but the glorified atheist community. I'm interested to see even how they respond to this, because sadly, I have an inkling of where this is going to go to protect one of their own, which ironically on this channel multiple times I've confronted Elliot about multiple times. Not about this topic, but just about the cool kids get to do what the cool kids do, right? And you get away with it, and you want to hold everybody else fucking accountable. But we'll see. We'll
That question: how do you end up in one of these unsecure places?
Mm-hmm. In what Nancy told me, and it's in the long write up that I have here, that he pulled her into there, pulled her into that door.
Yeah. So this is all very troubling, and I think maybe people can start to see where.
and I meant to say this, and I'll keep going. When someone, anyone comes forward with this type of information, whether you know that person or not, right? And I think this is a great example, because I think anybody that that knows Elliot Knight's history would, like, we've always got along great, right? I would have never, I would never guess this. But I'll be goddamned when a victim comes forward and has the bravery, right, and will put themselves out there. I'm always going to be on the side of the victim until there's a very, very clear reason to not be. And I think that needs to be said as well, because I think that's where a lot of people try to get things tangled. Is, well, Oz. Again, Oz, you said you're a skeptic. First, we should collect the evidence, we absolutely should. We absolutely should. In the meantime, I'm going to listen to the victim, because too many times the victims are told to shut up, and then they just run away and they never talk about it.
The issues start to come in, because there has been this narrative circulating in our community that completely undermines the victim.
Oh, God.
And it is troubling to me how easy it seems to be for people to go along with that narrative, and to be so dismissive of you and your sister, completely overlooking, to me, the very obvious facts that need to be explained, and why there has been such an aggressive campaign of fucking character assassination. Let's just call it what it is. It's been
That's true.
blame the victim. It's been the secular atheist version of what was she wearing, what does she fantasize about, who consumed how much alcohol. Well, she seemed to still want to spend time with him afterwards. They claim
All
to be
victim
really good
responses.
friends. What the fuck are we talking about?
Yep. I mean, everything that she did is exactly a victim response.
Textbook.
Yeah. Hold on. I just realized this, and it is not because I just realized I'm still in this little bubble over here. So my bad. Because I want to make sure even when I'm communicating, y'all can see me. I just realized I was still in my little gaming bubble. Yes, Jay, it doesn't fucking matter. It-
Textbook.
Textbook.
Yep. And I will say too that I think, you know, she's never been fearful to actually express being a sexual person, you know, and I think our society isn't used to that.
But can we just say that this
And
is
so,
the fuck why? Sorry.
yeah,
I know that's where you were
no,
going. I
you're fine. You're fine.
This is the fuck why. This is the fuck why.
Yeah. Because people make assumptions that a woman who actually can express her sexuality or her interest in sex is somehow able to then be blamed. I don't understand it because never mind. I'm getting messed up here.
It's all right. We're here for you.
No, Patty, you're dead on mark. Hey, a woman is allowed to go out and be herself, and if that is interpreted from the dude with the fucking penis that doesn't know how to think with anything but his fucking penis, if that's interpreted as he gets to do anything he wants to fucking do because she's flirty or flirtatious or what the fuck ever, that's not a her problem. That's a him problem. And him need him needs to be dealt with.
Someone asked if go ahead.
I was just going to add that I know when I spoke with the good friend that found her dazed in the hallway or in the lobby space and brought her back to the room, that her heart was absolutely broken because she said, speaking of Nancy, she said that Nancy had said all those things that you think could a victim say it. And yet it's what Nancy said, you know, of like, I thought he was my friend. And did I lead him on that bad? You know, like is this me?
Is this my fault?
Like she started blaming herself.
No, we know better than that. That's, you know.
And she's been open with her sexuality, you know, she's been open about reading dark romance novels and having fantasies of certain things. And that doesn't mean she's done it. Doesn't mean she wanted it. You can have the sexiest conversations with somebody and still not have them strangle you. And she thought, because of the way this community talks, because anybody who's into BDSM, which is not him, it was him. He claims to be into BDSM. She has not ever done that. There is, within communities like that, the deepest understanding of consent and the most care taken of anybody.
Yes. Yeah.
This
reminds me of a martial artist who has like a 9th degree black belt and then walks into a bar and then like knocks out a guy for looking at his girlfriend and then says, well, it's like, no, anybody who practices the martial arts knows the first rule of learning how to fight is don't. It's a last resort. That's like, that's how this works. So to say like, oh, her kink is the reason we can just ignore her experience and ignore what she's saying happened because, you know, hey, they're into shit like that. That is just such a tragic misread of the entire, that's just not how any of this works. There's supposed to be safe words, protocols, a previously established history of consensual sexual encounters. Typically, even if I know somebody is really into consensual non-consent, it's probably not going to be the very first thing on the
Right.
motherfucking menu before we get to know each other a little bit better. And can you even consent to that? Can I actually even consent to being thrown down fucking stairs? I don't think saying that you're into consensual non-consent means I consent to being concussed in, you know, taking a trip down the stairs here like that. Like I don't understand how people took that narrative and ran with it. Now,
I don't either.
part of what I've been trying to uh create space for in my head is that there's an assailant here who I think many people in this community had an incredibly high opinion of. I don't know how else to put it. Motherfuckers out here love this person. They're very charismatic or whatever.
All right, before they carry on there, I just want to say this, and you 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 inspect what you expect, right? And what I mean by that is, and I'm not talking about the perp or the victim right now. I'm even talking about the community at large, because that's where they're going right now. You inspect what you expect, and if you're going to say that, all right, we're going to host this conference, we're going to do this conference, there when you start throwing names on that list, you better have vetted them very, very well, because your expectation is that no, none of us are perfect, right? we know that we're coming in for, we're coming in as atheists. We don't give a fuck. But the character, the fabric of the people that we're inviting to speak, what like, where we're doing it, and especially the main speakers. Now, if like you're doing breakout rooms, like type shit, whatever, you can have some one-offs that maybe there's a little disconnect there, but they're not on the main stage. They don't have a main platform. They're not the MC type shit. But then when you start to glorify their name, so to speak, and you make them one of the untouchables, and I'm more so saying this as a lead-in, because I feel like this is the direction that it's already taken, or it's taking, is it's going to be, man, we love this dude, good dude, chop it up, fuck, got the gumball machine behind him type shit type. So what? When shit hits the fan, are you who you say you are? Are you going to call that shit out? Are you going to call that shit out? And that's why I separated the last stream when Jen and I were gaming. She was ready to go to bed. That's why I separated this from that one, because this one, the importance is there to talk about these things in this quote unquote community. And for years now, I've said the word community in the YouTube atheist sphere is a fucking joke. It's a fucking joke. There is no community. We have friends. And we share groups, right? Like-minded and all of that. But as far as a community, it's like herding cats. And I'm included in that. It doesn't mean that I don't love people. I don't care about, but to try to say I'm just this, I'm part of this community. I think that's where it gets all fucked up, because then if you're part of this community, you got to think this way and act this way and do this. And I'm like, fuck that. I did that shit when I went to church. I am not part of a community. I can have shared values, shared ideas. We can literally love the shit out of each other. But that word community in this sphere is absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
And I think they're deeply troubled and manipulative as fucking shit. And so part of what I've seen, especially since, really talking to you, is just how effective that manipulation has been. And so
Especially when there's misogyny to pull on.
Yeah. And so, there's like a shred of trying to understand the humanity that is so easily manipulated, and maybe people are and understanding the toxicness of all this, because that's what we really want to talk about, right? Is those narratives that started there that undermined her are the same narratives that then seeped into this community, and then that became the leading narrative. That's
And 100%. 100%, because again, I will always take the victim at face value. And until that shit is 100% dismissed and there's evidence that says nope, all that's bullshit. Nope, go to the proper authorities and do your goddamn thing. And make sure that motherfucker is held accountable. Make sure that motherfucker is held accountable. And I don't give a fuck who their name is or what their name is. Doesn't fucking matter to me. Does not fucking matter to me.
what we heard before we heard the truth. So now you have deeply manipulative,
Because the victim was also too afraid to speak, which is
also
also
common,
typical.
also typical, and again, should not be required. Should
Correct.
not be required. So, and then that's the thing. Like, is that where we're at? Like, are we going to be at this place where if I don't see your assault on camera, or if you can't come on camera or an effective representative and explain it to my satisfaction, then gang, I don't want to live in that world. I don't even want to fucking think about that world.
Mm-mm. Well, so I mean, these red flags. Remember, I mentioned there's these red
Sure.
flags going off for me of like,
Yeah.
okay, so to me, it started with the arm around her in front of everybody. Actually, it started before that, because what she told me was that night, while she's flirting, she admitted to him that she'd had a crush on him for a couple years. And we're talking like, I see you online and you're cute, so I have a crush on you.
Right.
And she said he got real giddy about that and then took her by the hand and paraded her around to everyone in the lobby before going outside,
Mm,
hand in hand.
mm.
And so then I'm seeing the red flags following, the arm around it, the talking to her for hours upon
So
hours,
just to be clear,
and not talking to me.
so because there's a report there, I guess.
I don't even know what to call this right now. I don't know what to call this right now. So what, bro? So what? She had a crush on you. I've I've only talked about it once, and I refuse to ever say names because they're irrelevant. The names are irrelevant. I went to a quote unquote atheist conference several years ago, and I was approached by two different people. Like, oh, so you're this, oh, so you're that. I see you on, and that's I'm talking back when the Atheist Roundtable and then the Atheist Network group like were fucking popping off, right? And one of them, it was so ridiculous because I'm very very aware, and like you are not gonna get me caught slipping. You're never gonna get my name fucked up in some crazy ass shit like this. I went to the front desk. I had my room changed because one of the people that kept approaching me kept trying to follow me. And I had my whole fucking room changed. So if you're really not wanting to be a part of this type shit where this shit pops off and you get accusations, if they were false, in this case, I don't think they are from what we're hearing. But if you're really trying to play the integrity card and no, the here are my boundaries, me as a man, here are my boundaries. Here's where I draw the line. Like I went and did that because I was terrified that what if something does pop off and then something creeps out and something somebody says something and something. I ain't got time for it, bro. I ain't got time for
There was a dinner earlier, and supposedly there's inebriation then, and then so now we're later. I don't know. Are people at some sort of party or social function? They're drinking, right? And so
Yeah, I think just at the bar drinking. But yes, the guy was pretty drunk
s-
already at dinner by
so
visibly.
apparently they're drinking. And I've had some of the flying monkeys dropping reports themselves. Apparently, so they were drinking, then they go out or whatever, and then they come back in, and then I think they go out again, and that's when whatever. So
I don't know of 2 outdoor
yeah, okay. I'm
steps,
just
but
saying, hey,
whatever.
that's out there, right? But you're saying it before the incident happened. Here's the main thing: before it happens, there's this parading her around the room, hand in hand type of thing, and then
Mhm.
after, you're saying the morning after, when you're giving your talk, there's the sitting next to her with the arm around. Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
and you're putting that together, going, hey, at the time everybody's drinking, having fun. She's flirty. They're feeling each other. Maybe he's just showing off a fling or whatever. But in hindsight, given what would transpire later, it could also be planting the seeds of this deeper manipulation that we seems to in fact be what played out, right?
I
And
mean,
so
the
then
craft of a fucking predator.
exactly,
That's what I think.
exactly, yeah, because that's kind of why I pulled back a little bit from what I was reading, because I think some of this stuff is important to establish what I was talking about, which is the manipulation of the appearance of consent, right? Let me make sure everybody
Yeah.
sees us together. That way everybody knows, hey, we're in this thing together. This is fun. Everybody thinks,
He's
we're
flirting,
popping off
laughing,
together. He's
having
flirting.
fun.
Yeah, look at us, everybody. And it's like that alibi. It's like when you're gonna go, commit.
what's up, Teak. See, Teak. I don't know if you've been hanging out in the background, lurking and listen. I was literally just thinking about this song. I love you, Tika. I was literally. It's probably our DJ minds thinking together in unison. Thanks be to their God. Somebody come get her because she's dancing like a stripper. Like, hey, it's essentially what that would mean is, hey, Patty, you should have been there to get your sister. You should have been there to get your sister because she was dancing like a stripper. She was flirting. She was flirting. Damn, was she flirting? And what does that mean? That means that whatever piece of shit can do whatever the fuck he wants to do with her. Why? Because she was flirting. The fuck?
A crime and like you're like, hey mom, I stopped. Yeah, mom, don't forget I stopped by tonight. Type of situation. Sorry, I shouldn't be making jokes, but it very much has that feel, right? And then the next day you're given your thing, and it's like, hey, let me make sure everybody sees that her and I are together and we're on the same page and this love connection's going. When in reality, I threw
Well,
her
and
down the
I
stairs last
just
night.
heard her whole story. I
Yeah.
had just heard everything that had happened. And I was like, do I still do this? What do we do? But we were relying on this person for our shuttle ride out. So I was like, and I knew at that point, Nancy said, I can't report this. I don't. And I was like, yeah, this is worth reporting, Nancy. And she was like, no, I don't want to. I don't want my husband to find out because he's going to think I was doing something wrong, even though I wasn't. I mean, she was all the way to scared, and she just wanted to go and forget it. And I appreciate that,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like now we're where we are. So they apparently these events, I don't know why, but they just hire an investigator to be at these events at conferences to just hang out in case some shit like this happens, I guess. So they gathered a statement from her, and I don't know if she was willing to tell them everything that happened. So I don't know if the full violence was explained to them because she was scared. She was trying.
And it just really quick. I hope after after the healing and coping and all of that happened, like that's first and foremost. So don't interpret what I'm saying as anything. Like all of that comes first. What I'm going to say is dead last on the list. It's what I'm getting ready to say is dead last on the motherfucking list. I do hope for her and her husband that both of them, first of all, she can heal and process and all that, and then they can talk and heal together 100%. And then I hope she can share those things with her husband. That way he even knows about the, because I don't even know if he knows about because she talked about the fantasies and all of that earlier. And again, that is no excuse for a dude to do some stupid ass shit. Point blank, period. But for him, I hope he's in the know. And that way he's better on guard as far as just making sure she is in safe places, not controlling her, not telling her where to go, what to do, who to be with, but just understands that she's in safe spaces and she can share that space with other people that understand that lifestyle. Because I could tell you, coming from a relationship where we were an open relationship / swingers, that's a rare thing to be able to do that and have that kind of open communication. So that matters, and I hope that they are able to do that.
Trying to figure out what's going to blow back on her, and she's telling me in the morning she's worried about the channel. I'm like, fuck, I don't give a fuck, Nancy. Like, this is no.
Yeah, no, math pig, no speaking tonight.
So yeah, so I'm seeing those weird moves that are striking me wrong. And then as I noticed, in the aftermath in that following week, she's talking with him, and about at a week and a half, I realized he's still talking to her. So I texted him directly. I had not spoken one word to him, like after the talk
Wow.
that
That's
morning.
Crazy.
because I was like, we're not playing this game.
That's crazy.
And all I said was, it is highly inappropriate for you to be talking to Nancy right now. And please, I don't know exactly what else, but please stop doing that. He had the audacity to go to Nancy because they're friends now, right? This is how he's positioning her.
Yeah.
And to tell her that I did that. And he's got her so twisted at that point that she's like, oh, I wish they would just leave us alone.
Yeah, and that's been a huge.
But she has fully come back to her senses now and fallen out from the spell.
Okay, so yeah, because to be candid and honest with people, that's another huge part of the narrative is their closeness afterwards, which it baffles.
So here's where I think Jay and I would differ in our approach here. And again, I've said this over and over again. I got the victim's back, man. And until there's a good reason not to, I'll go to war with you. Patty just said, I sent text messages, said this, he said that. You can even blurt. I don't know. I may even ask for more than that, but receipts, because if this is true, and so far I'm with you. If this is true, let's just show receipts. Let's not hold back. And maybe that's part of my personality where I'm like, no, let's just get to the jugular. Let's cut out all the bullshit. Let's just start showing receipts. Let's not talk about when it comes to the afterwards, right? I'm not talking about that night, but afterwards. Now you're saying you specifically text him and he said these things. He did these things. Let's get receipts. Let's see how diabolical this motherfucker really is. Like I would 100% double down and be like, let's get it. Let's expose this motherfucker for who and what he is.
Me that people don't understand the potential for.
Great question. So I'm talking real quick. I'm talking about Patty right now, the sister, the one that's on the screen right now. She said that after the fact, Patty said she had texted Elliot and said, this is inappropriate. These things should not be happening, so on and so forth. And then Elliot had whatever response. Cool. Then just shows, because then let's follow. Then there's going to be a paper trail, right? There's going to be receipts. Let's follow them. It's not me challenging Patty or her sister. All it's saying is that let's lay this groundwork and then let's follow it. Let's follow this evidence, because now if we've created this trail, let's follow this fucking trail and let's expose this shit for what the fuck it is.
Somebody in that situation to be doing what you said, like, whether let the lawyers decide who broke what kind of laws or whatever, but even just the idea of you've just had this violent encounter with somebody, the fact that them reaching out this intensively might be part of a manipulative, coercive effort to get themselves out of accountability for the situation, again, without people even having to.
Okay, so here, I will refrain from saying anything like that again. She's in legal pursuits, so I believe they're limited. So that's fair. That's fair. So I won't. I will say that again. And fuck yes, release all that shit. God damn it, it's about time. So yeah, so I won't even mention that again. I continue to learn,
to know the details or what's being said in those conversations. the contact pattern itself should be obviously problematic to people. And instead,
This is basic psychology stuff.
yes, and instead,
Yeah, but see, then I would. And again, I'm with them, but then they don't need to be doing any interviews right now, like none. And I've dealt with enough of my own legal shit. Like don't be talking on record. don't be recording shit.
it has been directly weaponized against the victim. I just don't understand.
I will add to that too that those long calls, one of them occurred directly after this individual spoke with one of the platforms that he spends time on, in which he threw himself on the mercy of the court and said, I'll do whatever Nancy says to make it better, and then spent hours talking to Nancy. Excuse me?
Right.
And I was aware of these things. I was paying attention. I was documenting it, and I was sharing it with the trusted women that Nancy reached out to share what had happened right away. I shared this information. I shared the manipulation I was seeing. I shared the inappropriateness of him communicating with her in this way.
Yeah.
And it was ignored.
Yes.
And excuses were made.
Yeah. And that's where this ties into the community failure, which is why we titled the stream "When Manipulation Meets Community Failure," because that manipulation is what allowed a false narrative to build up, to more or less become the official narrative. Damn what the victim says, and then that provided cover, I think, for more people to continue to turn the screws and to act badly and to continue to then act like sharing all of these other details would reify that narrative. And in a sense, play in our faces as though we don't understand how those things don't fucking matter or do nothing to speak to what happened. Yeah, I don't
Right.
give a fuck what happened before, and I don't give a fuck what happened after. Nancy got fucked up. How?
Yeah. Without her consent.
Thank you. That's all there is to give a fuck about.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Well,
go ahead, please.
I was going to say, so my focus then, because Nancy still did not want to press charges, and the interference of this person speaking to her for hours put a really weird wall between she and I for a little while, which I think was intentional. And thankfully that wall has crumbled. But so if I brought it up to try to, like, see how she was doing about stuff, like, she didn't really want to talk about it. And once she realized I wasn't okay with this person continuing to talk with her, she didn't want to tell me about that, even though it was continuing. So she starts adding all these protective layers, and I see her behaving in such a way that she's just like a shell of herself, and you can tell she's just wearing a mask over it, and wasn't herself at all. So although she was going along with whatever was happening in those conversations, I mean, yeah, she wasn't happy about it. She wasn't actually feeling like that was solving the problem or like it was right. Because she was like, Patty, this is what we do, when she was going to help him through his traumas. And I think some of those discussions yielded, he made confessions of being bipolar with manic episodes. that he's embarrassed about. Okay. Drinking too much. Okay. Well, even if this was a one-off incident, those things are a big enough issue for that person and thus for the community that it's worth looking into, let alone with all of the other stuff going on.
Right.
And so it was like this popcorn of all these things to blame it on, to deflect
Yeah.
from the harm that actually happened to Nancy, right? Like that was driving the reverse victim offender thing.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask about, because that feels like exactly what is going on. It's almost like she ends up in having a duty of care to him somehow.
Yes. I mean, it was literal. It not even like kind of. She was like, "Oh, we're gonna talk so a couple times a week so I can help him through his problems." So she's trying to ignore what happened to her and focus on him because he turned it out that way. It got twisted that way. But
Wow.
that's a tactic. That's like a known thing
Right.
that happens to victims.
And that part I find interesting / suspicious, because this same motherfucker that we're talking about, as a grown ass man talking to another grown ass man, I've offered that up to him. Like, hey man, we could chop it up. We could chop it up. Let's talk about it. We both deal with mental illnesses. We both do this. I will carve out time in my calendar. We could chop it up. You and I. Did he ever entertain one of those offers, which were given several, if not many times? Hell no.
Yeah. Okay. So at this point, I couldn't get Nancy to move forward on anything. Her husband was out of the country, so she was free to talk all these hours upon hours, unfortunately. And yeah, Sumami for sure to change the narrative to that of the perpetrators. I mean, that's what I literally heard it happen as the story changed. But at this point, I'm like, okay, there is an issue.
Hang on.
Community.
Just to get her full comment in here. She said
okay.
There was one individual who's the perpetrator of the assault. The other people referenced are the individuals in both leadership positions with RFR and individuals who were attendees who have worked to change the narrative to that of the perpetrators. I just wanted to put those together. Okay. Please continue.
Yes. So at that point, my concern became harm reduction for the community, right? Like I was going to help Nancy however I could help Nancy as she was more able to deal with what had happened to her. And so I reached out. To anyone that I felt could potentially be.
Hey, Patty, that community that you're, oh boy. See, I told y'all I might lose my shit tonight. That community, Patty, that community, because I know that community. I know the community that you're referencing. Fuck them. They don't even actually exist. They don't give a fuck about you. They do not give a single motherfuck about you. The ones that want to bring somebody on and be like, oh, this is a new up and comer, blah 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 blah. They're doing this. So, yeah. So like your Matt Dillahunties and your fucking what's his nuts that he also takes advantage of women that also fucks with Matt Dillahunty and all these motherfuckers. They don't give two motherfucks about you or your sister. They don't give two motherfucks if you show up and speak at their conference or not, because they will fill your spot with the next person that's up and coming, because that's how they sell tickets. That's how it's church 2.0. It's church 2.0. They don't give a fuck about you. And as soon as you learn that, then you'll actually, then you'll find your community. Then you'll find your community, because the community you're talking about does not exist. Now, remember, I referenced this earlier, that community is bullshit. This community that we're talking about, it's bullshit. It does not exist. It's not. It's a facade. What I'm when I say community, then what we're talking are the man, we on a daily, nightly basis, we get to know each other. And I'll say this, just to prove a silly point, because there's multiple people in the chat right now that'll know this. As a creator, when I talk about ranch dressing, y'all know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about right now, right? Now, does that mean that everybody else in the chat is not included? Absolutely not. Because there's also other jokes and things that we carry over, right? And that we embrace and that we hold. But this idea of a community, here's why it's a farce. Because it's either you believe the way I believe, you philosophize the way I philosophize, you speak the way I fucking want you to speak, and you atheist the way I want you to atheist. And guess what? I ain't got time for none of it. I ain't got time for none of it. You know what I got time for? Real motherfuckers that are not worried about, look at me, I have the best argument for God, or I have the best argument against God. No, I just want to know some real motherfuckers. I just want to know some real motherfuckers. And here's what happens. Because when this channel started for its first however many years of existence, we were popping off, man. We were part of we were inching into the cool kid club. We were inching into this cool kid club where we got to hang out with the fucking Delahunnies and the Magna Boscos and the just line them up, right? Guess what? It wasn't a community at all. All it was at the end of the day, either you're helping to support and endorse and push my brand, or you're not. And as soon as I refused, it went from like, we're up here, like Anthony Magnabosco, the king of street epistemology, had us on his fucking website. And as soon as I was like, nah, dog, it's not a community. It's a fucking business. It's a fucking business. And I talked to Elliot about this at least 3 or 4 times on this fucking channel. The same dude, the perp right now. So we're clear. The perp that we're talking about right now, 3 or 4 times I confronted him with this bullshit where y'all just protect each other, and y'all can do whatever the fuck you want to do, and you can abuse people, You could talk shit to people, say whatever the fuck you want to say, do whatever the fuck you want to do, and it's okay as long as one of y'all sign off on it. And it, oh, well, no, man, I don't know if I see it that way. Man, listen to Matt Dillahunty talk to a motherfucker just on a phone call for 5 minutes, if you can last that long, and tell me that you could actually sit in a room and have a conversation with that fucking dickhead. Because I can tell you right now, I could not. I would be ready to slap the fucking taste out of Matt Dillahunty's mouth.
In a place to get this person help, to make sure that this person didn't have access to more people to do something similar in the future, because it's pretty notable that the groups of people that will hang out around this person now are former cult, former high control religion people. And that means they are conditioned from an early age, which, you know, we haven't unpacked everything that we were conditioned in through these things. And so they are, it's like literally an ideal population.
Hey, if you need somebody for Christmas, let me know.
Of people who are absolutely vulnerable.
Yeah. Many of us have just, I always talk about just that experience of growing up in a cult, and all of the developmental things that it robs you of, right? And so we're all
hold up. Is this who I think it is? Man, I feel like I remember that screen name. Damn. All right. Yeah. I was like, damn, I remember that screen. It's been a hot damn minute. Good to see you.
Trying to find those pieces of the puzzle as adults much later in life than would be ideal. And for many people, they've only been out of that a number of years, a handful of years. And even if it's been longer, just because of how hard it is for us to really be in community with each other, especially in person, I think we're all still re-socializing, right? We're all still like learning, like, how do I actually socialize with secular people? And even if you've kind of gotten the hang of it online, once you start doing in-person stuff, it's like a whole new ball of wax. It's like first day of high school all over again, right? And, you know, only having, you know, maybe a couple of those experiences a year, if you're lucky, right? I mean, we just got to be real.
I want to address something Jay just said there, but yeah, when I was on Truth One, oh fucking shit! Until you just said that, man. That see, that's what I was talking about a minute ago. Man, we were towing the line being part of the Cool Kid Club, man. We were right there. Yeah, years ago, for sure. For sure. We were towing the line, part of the Cool Kid Club. But to what Jay just said, as far as like after the pandemic and re-socializing, all that. Jay's my dude, man. That's my brother from another mother, but I'm gonna completely disagree with him on this point, because at this point, we're talking about 2020. We're going to 2026. This re-socializing thing, that's only a thing if you make it a thing. And you want that to be, you want that to have continuality, right? You want it to keep going to prop up your lack of effort to socialize. And let's pretend that all of everything that you said, Jay, and I just said is true. Let's pretend that all of that is true. With or without the socialization, with or without COVID, a man getting drunk and a woman being flirtatious does not mean, therefore, the man gets to take advantage of the woman that's being flirtatious. It like literally all of the, it still doesn't matter.
About the social dynamics that creates. And you're right, we're coming out of that high control group, and then also we're trying to come into a space with a new uncommon, maybe sort of openness and freedom and things like that. So it's this mix of, in a sense, we're trying to bite off more than we can chew, right? We want all this newfound freedom, but maybe we didn't get all the tools that we would need. So it creates a vulnerability. And and then you add to the mix all the other stuff. And it's tough. So yeah, but going back to the thing, it feels weird that there's this investigator position there. That does seem odd, and it seems like it's almost like the churches where they have insurance policies about these things, and it's like, why do you have that there, but then you don't have some sort of like active program of prevention and reporting?
It is because sexual assault happens so frequently at conventions of all different types. That's why.
Boom, 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 boom. Tsunami. Fuck, God just nailed it. And I was just talking about this earlier. These conferences, oh man, I can't tell you. Like even before, like even outside of the atheist shit, when I went. Because when I was with Ashley Furniture and when I was with Verizon Wireless and I was in management and then upper management, bro, man, you did not catch me slipping, because I already know that going in. These conferences, it's hook up avenue. It's or whatever fucking words you want to throw out. It's hook up central. It's fucking, if you can get it type shit. If you can get it type shit. That's why even outside of the 80, but I was in corporate American management. I walked on eggshells. You did not, could not find me slipping whatsoever. I would have my limit on those business trips. And y'all know how I drink. Y'all know how your boy drinks. My limit when I went on these trips, my limit in public, in the publics, my limit was 2 to 3 drinks. Gone. And I never drank at the same hotel or a bar at the same hotel that I was staying in, ever. Fucking ever. Dipped, gone, you don't see me again. Now, don't get it twisted. Once I got up to my own hotel room, well, I had a bottle up there, but now I'm good. I'm safe, right? I'm good. Nothing, ain't nobody saying shit. Why? Because I ain't doing and saying shit. I'm out of my P's and Q's. And you ain't even gonna get me caught up. But then you go out here and then it's, well, we were drinking and you were drinking and all of us were drinking and butter. Bro, that's still not an excuse for you to do this stupid ass shit. Still no reason for y'all to do this stupid ass shit. And Math Pig, you're right. I don't. I take two shots of the most high quality H2O, and I'm flabbergasted.
Fine. frustrating to me.
No, yeah, that's the reality. I guess I'm just comparing it, and I've mentioned this a couple times, but not on air. But I'm comparing it to my field. I'm an evolutionary biologist. We have, our annual conferences, like the three leading professional evolution societies, and ever since I was in grad school, going back probably 15 years or whatever, like there's always been crazy protocol. We have a whole program called Safe Evolution. There's got a whole committee over top of it, and there's mandatory shit everybody has to go through every year, and you have to like sign the thing each time you register. And there's always a booth, like the whole conference is always a booth with like people in it, and like it's something that is taken so seriously from the very, very top of the organization down to the very, very details of how the conference gets executed year to year. And then especially if you're a first timer or an undergrad or like one of again, a more vulnerable population that we know is going to be dealing with some power dynamics and stuff, there's extra programming for that. So my point is just to say professional societies understand this, and they don't just do the let's have some insurance or an investigator to cover our ass. They do the let's proactively take this seriously to make sure we do our most to minimize this, and then to absolutely understand what has to happen when it happens. And so part of this is not just the failure to intervene and stop this, which is something I think is another problem that happens when the victim is blamed. Because when the victim is blamed, then why this happened is because of the victim, rather than let's revisit all of the fucking missed opportunities for somebody to say, maybe this isn't headed in the right direction. And once it happened, why was it not handled in the right way?
I want to know why these people that are supposedly should be so respected, that should be in positions of leadership, that should be people that are.
So hold on. Hey, somebody in the chat, tell me right now, what conference are we talking about? What fucking conference are we fucking talking about right now? I want to know that right now. We at this point we know the accusations. I don't. For me personally, I don't want to hear any more of it because it's going to keep pissing me off. Because I actually know the perp, and it makes me want to fucking. It actually makes me want to do shit I shouldn't do. Let's check your speakers. So it's not freedom for religion. Got that? All right. So it's not atheist.org. I'm going to find it because at this point, fuck, uh, fuck, keep doing this shit. We're just going to start calling them out, right? Oh, that could have been that. Let me check that. Let me check that shit. Oh, God damn it. Let's see. Speakers. None of you look familiar at all until there. Okay. I know a couple of you. So not Aha Khan. So what conference are we talking about? Like I'm looking up every conference right now. Like what fucking conference are we talking about? That shit already passed. Get the fuck out of here. The fuck out of here. That already passed. American Atheist. All right. Let me try that. Let's show everything. All right, see Seth there. I was there. Promise is there. Drew's there. Will's there. Evan's there. I was at. There's two. The 20th. Yeah, and that sucks. I literally just went through their entire fucking schedule for that weekend, and neither of them are on the schedule. Because I thought Elliot was on the schedule to speak. Right? Am I incorrect on that? Because I just searched all 4 days. Yeah, and I hardly doubt that Elliot's getting a breakout session over Owen Morgan or Drew McCoy. Highly doubt it. All right, well that's it. I've done my research. At this point, I'll continue to listen, but here's what is at the end of the day. Are we who we say we are? Are we who we say we are? And I can tell you right now, 44 goddamn motherfucking years of living, I've not had one accusation like this in my goddamn life. Why? Because I don't move this way. I don't operate this way. So it's never even been to a fucking point where it could be fucking confused or misconstrued or like, oh man, Oz, I thought you meant it. Never one goddamn fucking time. Never one fucking goddamn time. Point blank, period. So, Elliot, and at this point, I have no problem calling you by name because you've been on the channel, bro. Just do the right thing, bro. Like fuck you, do the right thing. Just come out, do the right thing. Admit your shit, right? Because all the evidence is getting more ridiculous against you. Like, do that. And if you're still I've not gone on this soapbox in a very, very long time. if you still, if you're an atheist, but maybe you're just like brand new, deconstructing, deconverting. I get it. I'll help you through a step or two, and I'll end with this because I don't get this soapbox very often anymore because I mostly DJ and play video games. Matt Dillahunty is a piece of shit. Do not trust him. He is also abusive. Just listen to the way he treats people. Just listen to the way he treats people and talks to people, and tell me if that's how you would like to be spoken to. There's that. Then there's also this like, there's this thing, the atheists love to call it love bombing. They will also love bomb you. The atheists will also love bomb you and let you know how much you belong. And you should talk your shit. They'll do the same thing. Why? Because most of the atheists talk on here that talk about deconversion and deconstruction, they have deconverted, but to a very minimal level have deconstructed. To a very minimal level have deconstructed their faith and their ideas, their ideology, their beliefs, their faith. It's minimal. It's minimal. So guess what they do? They circle back around and they put you in the same trap that you would have been put in if you still went to church every goddamn motherfucking Sunday. Amen. Amen. And how do I know it? Because that's what made me pull back from the atheist community, because it finally hit me. I was like, hold on, no, I mean, I'm getting love bombed. I'm getting all this fucking goddamn shit the same way I did from the church. But I know none of y'all actually fucking care about me. And then as soon as some fucking actual shit went down, everybody disappeared. Just like all the Christians disappeared when I left their faith, all the atheists disappeared. The community atheists. I'm not talking about the cool ones. I'm talking about the community atheists. So fuck them. And the hook brings you back, motherfuckers.